Good with the shorter intro.
Oh, we're not muted. And Adrian said he was checking on you.
Centers it! Score! Adrian on who?
Overtime.
Yo.
On Rob. Apparently, Rob was blocked from Lightning Strike. So he was checking on that.
Yeah, I'm not blocked from Hockey Bay. I know that.
No, listen, I know
found
why.
that out this week.
Yeah. No, I know why. And it's because early on, when we were trying to promote Shooting the Stash and We the Thunder, none of these groups allowed, like, oh, don't promote yourself. And that's why I got blocked, because we were trying to share our show in these groups. How the times have changed, huh?
Yeah. Huh? I sent Adrian a message saying, hey, shooters. Well, I was like, Rob's blocked. And he's like, Rob who? And I said,
Rob Dyrdek, motherfucker.
Yeah. I said, he's blocked from, he's like, oh, he must have pissed off Dolly. I said, well, he thinks it was probably early in the days when they were promoting the show. He's like, that was probably it. I'll look into it.
Yeah,
so
I guarantee that. In fact, I remember that's why Rob got blocked.
Can I tell you who the funniest alumni was? It was Lukowich.
Oh yes, Luke's, bro. I saw several things where he was fucking around with some of those guys. And you know what's funny, man? It's like, okay, I haven't been here 30 years, but I've been here 20 years. And in 20 years, you do kind of forget players along the way. And then suddenly these events come around, like, dude, I forget how much I love goddamn Brad Lukowich, dude. I fucking love that guy.
He was so drunk. And he was the only one that came to the blue carpet with a beer in hand.
That's awesome.
The point that they had to come out and actually get him and say, come inside.
So he was the stash of the event.
Yes.
Awesome.
So he was so drunk. He said he's planning on moving back to Tampa, but the fans better get louder. He was pumping up the crowd. The last one to show was LeCavier. No, maybe it was Bishop. I think it was Bishop.
It was funny on the block party, because Teddy Purcell's like, I just want to thank Mr. Vinnick and the Lightning for paying for everybody to be here, or else Ben Bishop probably wouldn't have come.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
But they came out and they said, I think it was Bish. I think they said they're seating in 5 minutes, or they're starting to eat in 5 minutes. He's like, yeah, okay. And then still continue to sign with the fans and take pictures of the fans, only because he hasn't returned. You know, this is the first time really anybody's really got to see him.
He's still technically with the Buffalo organization. He's still being paid as a player.
Dallas.
But I think he's in Dallas, but I think he's part of the Buffalo organization actually now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's how he's getting paid. I think his contract is now somehow. And I'm pretty sure that's what he said on the block party. I was a little bit distracted with Hunter today while I was listening to it, but I think that's what he said, that technically he's still in Dallas, but he's under the Buffalo franchise right now.
I talked to him about when he told he called the eBayers from the Rangers scumbags, and he started laughing. He said, oh, I remember that. He's like, they were so pissed. And I was like, they sure were. Yeah, he's under Buffalo's.
That's what I thought. They traded his contract at the end. But yeah. So, the news of the week. The stalker has become the stalked.
Man, this fucking guy.
What a fucking clown.
Huh?
What a clown.
Oh, he's horrible. He like...
Okay, backstory for everyone that's just, well... Okay, well, for anyone who might watch this later on, evidently top school, he had a bad relationship with a dude. No, sorry, I don't want to say that word. I don't know.
No, here, I'll take it back to the way to get it. So his girlfriend was very big part of SOF. He was not. he had started Hockey Bay. He kind of said he was part of Sticks of Fire, but he really wasn't. It was more just his girlfriend. His girlfriend was friends with all the ladies in Sticks of Fire. He just always was a creep. He had a big white van that says Hockey Bay on it. Just a creeper. He ends up getting caught up. He owned an Airbnb. A couple rented it, and
Madeira Beach, right?
Huh?
It was like Mad Beach or somewhere down there.
The Sarasota.
Oh, Sarasota. That's
right. Sarasota. They end up finding cameras in it. They found video
in the smoke detector of the main bedroom.
Yeah, well, it's several different places they end up finding them, but that was the original. Yeah, and he admits that he had put them there for sex parties him and his girlfriend had, and that they forgot to dismantle them for when there was guests.
Yeah, you don't want to have to like take down your secret cameras in between your swinger parties.
Yeah.
Right?
No, you just kind of hide them better. You guys have no idea what kind of footage I have on you.
Yeah, but I think they found like 13 other couples besides these sex parties. He spent 364 days in jail for it.
Which means that which for those of you who are uninitiated, means he stayed here in the county. Anything over a year, you have to go to state prison.
Right.
In any state. So anything less than a year is county time. Anything over a year, mandatory state institution. So he must have had a good lawyer that kept him from going to the state pokey and getting poked himself.
The poor couple that got videotaped, they couldn't sue Airbnb because they agreed to they agree to all the disclaimers. So that poor couple, we were told, several of us were told if we saw him at the arena to let security know that he wasn't welcome there and everything else. So then he started showing up at Florida Panther games. And that's the last like 3 or 4 times I've seen him. Then all of a sudden he came out of his ditch and started posting on his page that he felt it was inappropriate that the Lightning were charging $30 for the Hall of Fame ceremony. So my comment was, that's to pay for security and make sure you don't come in.
There we go. Okay. Now I know. You poked the bear, bro.
Yeah. And with that, he switched his whole profile to me and several different things. Blocked me from it so I can't see it. I started getting tons and tons and tons of message.
Nothing is weaker. Nothing is more weak in society today when you go at someone on the internet and then block them.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is the point of that? Why would you fucking go and talk shit about somebody and then block them so they can't see it?
The worst part is
the point of it.
He posts a picture of Braden Point taking a selfie with me.
Right.
And says, "Do you know the stalker?" My favorite comment was, "That looks like Braden Point."
Yeah. Like here, okay. I just fuck that guy. Okay, fuck that guy. B, fuck him for taking my favorite slogan and my favorite marketing campaign in the history of the Lightning and sullying it with his dirt. Okay.
Hockey Bay.
Thirdly, yes, Hockey Bay USA. Come on. I'm still pissed that they don't have the ability.
He's selling that website.
But really?
Yeah, it says for sale.
Oh,
he's been selling it ever since he's been selling it ever since he went to jail.
I would never buy it from him.
Yeah.
Now that I know that it's him, I'm glad, because I might have tried to at one point in the future, but now I'm glad I know. But and thirdly, like I said, what a fucking bitch ass move. Like, do you not understand how social media works? If you block somebody, they can't see that you're talking shit about them. Like, I never block people that I hate. Not that I hate a lot of people, but if I did, I wouldn't block them because I want them to see how good I'm doing. I want them to see that I'm fucking better than them.
Listen.
Don't block those people. I write in their faces. That's how social media works. Get a fucking clue, bro.
And we got more followers and Thunderbolts from him doing that than we had in any past week in the last like 6 months.
There you go, bro.
My favorite is this. This was sent to me. And I'm like, well, thank you. It looks like Fox put me, Bally put me on the thing there. Good job. Whip
Like,
random
who-
point.
And this
But-
guy is taking, like, okay, listen, if you guys were here last week, you know. I mean, if you've been watching the show ever, Scully and I have become friends. That's a love-hate relationship, let's be honest, between the two of us. In certain
Hey,
times,
your
certain
internet's
situations.
messing up, Stash.
Yeah, I know. My fucking,
Okay.
I know.
Well, I
can
just
see it.
wanted to make sure when you say how we're besties, everybody can hear.
Oh, yeah, we're totally besties with exclusions. Yeah, I don't know why I'm lagging suddenly. That's weird. But anyways, no, it's because my wife's home. She's using light internet. No, just kidding. No, I mean, there's no love lost between us, but we do love each other. We do appreciate each other, but we do have a love-hate relationship. And I'm still gonna tell you right now, it's like a sibling rivalry. I will talk shit to you, and I will go at you hard anytime I can. But if somebody comes after you, fuck off, bro. I'm gonna take you out because that's my fam. You know what I mean? So you come at Schoolie, you're coming at We the Thunder. You're coming at Thunderbolts. As far as I'm concerned, you're also coming to Sticks of Fire because I know they still support you guys too. Where when it's all said and done, they are laughing and they're coming and getting your back on this too about this dude who obviously has a history with Sticks of Fire. They are not happy about that he had any type of out of my mouth. I'm part of those guys. So come on, bro. I'm ready. Like I'm ready to go. Like he wants to take the time out of his day to do dumb shit like that. Which what's the production value? Garbage. Let's recruit Shooter to start doing the memes about that guy. Nobody does better memes in Tampa than Shooter. Shooter's the best meme.
Next
in Tampa.
need.
Sorry, Mike. Mike, you're a close second. I'm biased. Well, actually, after Saturday, you're first. I have a new best friend. It's Mike's need.
After it was like I started getting a couple messages saying, "Hey, did you see this?" And I was like, "No, I didn't see it because I'm blocked." And then they're like, "Did you see this?" And I'm like, "No." And then everybody started sending me it, and I was like, "Okay," because I wasn't gonna post anything. I usually wouldn't post anything. Like I don't post that kind of shit in Thunderbolts or anything. But I just was getting bombarded, like literally 8 times someone sent me it. And I was like, okay, that's enough. And so it was just, but I'm like, dude, like, and then then they tried saying, I wish someone really knew who ran this group. Well, it is still him. I mean, literally, if you go through the pictures on the group, it never has his face picture, but it has pictures of him in it. This picture of the gourd, anybody that knows who Wayne is knows that's his jersey. This picture right here, Tampa Q's, that's his jersey right there on the right.
He's only photographed from behind.
Yes. The funny thing is like he used to tag Sticks of Fire in Amalie Arena and things.
Lost stash.
Yeah. And they untagged themselves in this stuff because nobody wanted association with him. So he would tag them in this stuff. And it was from watch parties in the past and stuff like that. Like he was a total loser from the beginning, from the get-go. But this is his creeper van. The side of it or the back of it.
Yeah, and you're the stalker. Yeah.
He literally has a white van.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Windows.
Yeah.
So this guy followed us, I remember, and we never really get like negative comments on our pages or posts ever, really. Like everyone's pretty cool with us. Yeah. So like when we did get, I noticed we were getting a couple from this guy, and I like looked in his profiles, like, all right, who's this motherfucker? Like, you know, and
you're the one who are the ball lickers.
And of course, I find out, oh, it's like founder or creator of Hockey Bay, and I'm like, really, guy?
Yeah, he's disgusted. Shouldn't even be. And the funny part is like, so his girlfriend was. She kind of got screwed out of the deal, but then she did the Tammy Wynette Stand By Your Man thing. And so she lost a lot of friends. And on Twitter, I ended up seeing apparently she was at one of the blue carpets the other day, and someone was like, "I wonder if he's," but he wasn't there, because he's probably in hiding right now. Because I wouldn't mind going up. You can't miss him. He's Stash's size. And
Well, no, stop.
and
Read
length.
back. Do not use me as any type of comparison to this motherfucker.
Well,
Please
you
do
know,
not.
you can always find
Okay.
you. You can
Well,
always
fair,
find him.
but still.
He's tall like that.
Still,
And length. That's
still, I don't want any type of association with a dude who has been charged with felony voyeurism.
it. Yeah.
That ain't me, bro. That
He's
ain't me.
disgusting.
You can miss me with that shit. All right. Can miss me with that shit. I prefer voyeurism at the beach. Wait, I mean, no. What?
Me too.
Speaking of March, how about this weather? No, yeah. So Saturday, actually, no, Friday, no, it was Thursday or Friday. Mike hits me up. We'd been talking since last week's show about tickets and whatnot, getting the game together, and someone fell through for Saturday's game. And of course, I kind of wanted to go because it was the alumni game, but I wasn't sure what my week was going to look like. He's like, "Oh, I got you." I'm like, "All right, just show up." I try to get down there for the red carpet, but I'm in the middle of remodeling my son's room right now, and I got a little bit busy painting and doing that stuff. So we got down there like 5:30, met up at my favorite place downtown, Yeoman's, and started having a couple rounds there. Started having a good time. Got down in the arena. Continued having a good time. It was a great game. Montreal. Vinny was in the building. So the first thing is okay. So then Sunday I'm there, and the first question I get asked on Sunday when I show up is, "How much tequila did you drink last night?" First and foremost, none. Secondly, I drank a shit ton of vodka. If we want to be clear, it was clear liquor, but it wasn't tequila. I know better. I do not drink tequila in public.
Does vodka make you dance?
Oh, a lot. I dance. I dance on vodka.
I heard.
Yeah. I don't fight on vodka. I dance on vodka. I dance.
And become a bagel.
Well, you know.
Did you throw your hat?
I did not. I didn't. I was too
You
high.
can't throw
Too
it
far
from
away.
there,
You
really.
can't throw it from 307.
Just
Yeah.
smack someone in the head.
That's what I like. You want? Hey, listen. Never mind. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna out anybody here, even on this show. But yeah. So, but yeah. I was on one, so the voice was in full effect before the puck dropped. They're doing their announcement of all the guys that are in the building, all the alumni, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a Montreal Canadiens family sitting right in front of me. An older gentleman, probably in his mid-30s or so, with his two parents. And the son, is sitting right in front of me. And as everybody's coming out, you know, I'm a nickname guy. So I'm just yelling. I'm yelling screaming, really, the nicknames of every guy as they come out, you know. "Oh, Teddy P, Boiler, blah, 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 blah." Bro, before I was halfway through, the guy got up and moved to the other side of the parents for me. I chased away a Montreal Canadiens fan before the puck even dropped. That's where I was at on Saturday.
Wasn't it a little confusing with two boilers?
Well,
thankfully, they came out on two separate buses, but it was funny because when Dan came out, everybody's like "Boiler," and then when
the
Brian
OG
comes
boil,
out,
the OG boil, right?
and
The
then
first
when Brian comes out, it was "Boiler."
boil
It's like,
two.
yeah.
Boil two. I had a boil. No, anyways,
Was Brad Richards there? I didn't see him in any
No.
pictures.
No
Richie still
mention
has
of him.
No, he still has not come back. Listen, I still think of all the people, I think he's the one that's most hurt by this franchise with the way he got traded and the way he left his team, honestly.
Yep.
And it sucks because it was probably during the worst ownership that this team has ever had. And I wish he could probably find a way to mend fences a little bit, you know, but I do think that he was very, very much put off by the way he got
We
traded.
discussed that on Friday that there was no mention of him, no nothing of him
Mm-mm.
whatsoever in anything that was getting done.
And I was a little bit surprised that there was no Vinny Prospel or no Freddie Mo, but they were here for 25. So I could see how maybe they had something else going on. And I know Freddie Mo doesn't live down here anymore, but I thought Vinny P was still in the area.
He was at Friday. He wasn't there.
Oh, was he there Friday?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no, he was. Sorry, he was. Vinny P was there. Okay.
I was like, he was there.
He was. But I think he just got more. I think he got more attention during the 25 ceremony than he did this year. So, but anyways, yeah, it was fun on Saturday, and yeah, that penalty they called, Marty was pissed. The arena erupted. Everyone in the building knew that it was game over as soon as that penalty got called. We all knew it was time. So yeah, and then I woke up on Sunday, and at some point in time. Oh, also, I'm in a rental truck right now. I'm not in the Ram. It's in the shop from the light pole incident I talked about before. And we went to Brandon after the game because Mike, I'm not going to out where he lives, but he lives somewhere close to my old stomping grounds, which used to be Brandon. I lived there for 6 or 7 years in my 20s. And it felt like 6 or 7. I think it was like 3 or 4. But anyways, so he's like, oh, we want to shoot pool. We went back to Yeoman's. It was packed. We go out to Brandon Belucas, a place that I helped open back in the day. It was packed on a Saturday. So we went back to O'Brien's, which is like my OG first like real home bar out there. And we had a great time. And then suddenly it was time for me to go home. And I was fine. Like, I don't want to say I was okay. But then suddenly I was in a new truck and I ran out of gas for the first time in my entire life.
You what?
Ran out of gas at 3 o'clock in the morning in my rental truck in Carrollwood.
I thought you said you ran into cats. I was like, you ran into cats? For the first time in your life?
I've never run out. I do not acknowledge the pets in my house. Yes, I do not acknowledge the pets. I have memento disease. I forget things. No, I ran out of gas. First time in almost 43 years of being live. Well, I guess I've been driving for like 30 years. So first time in 30 years of driving that I ran out of gas. And it happened to be in that, at 3 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, it wasn't my smartest time, my most proud moment, but I definitely think that if you guys see me and Mike Snead out in public, maybe go and try and separate us. It's not going to work, but you'll get sucked in and have a good time with us, so it's worth it.
So the blue carpet event on Friday, from what I hear, was better than Saturday. Friday it was more intimate. I was talking with Debbie Kemp on it. They had it just from the driveway to the doors to the old
Ashley.
Lexus Lounge, the Ashley Lounge now. Yeah. And it was supposed to be a hush-hush event. They had invited some employees there, but some of us got down to the arena early and was like, oh, what is this blue carpet? And then one of the employees said, yeah, they're supposed to start coming here at 5 o'clock. And we're like, what? So I ended up getting, I don't know if you guys can see.
I saw your pictures. Yeah, I can.
But
there you go.
And then
you fucking stalker.
Yeah, that's all I kept getting on my.
I was the first one. You're right. I was the first one coming in hot with that. I was the first one.
But it was really cool. Debbie messaged me the second night and she's like, oh, look, they've moved the carpet. They made it a lot longer, fencing and everything else. And then she's like, I don't know if I'm even going to get in line over there. I said, yeah, Friday's was much more intimate and it seemed a little bit more special than it was on Saturday. And from what I saw on the pictures on Saturday, Fridays was a lot better. They were.
I don't, the older I get, honestly, it's funny because you think the older you get, the more regrets you have. But the older I get, the fewer regrets I have because I just understand life is life and you just you're never going to do everything you ever want to do. Right. It's too big, especially someone like me. I have dreams for days. But I will say I will probably go a long time regretting not taking up the myriad offers I had to show up to that event on Friday. I will.
Yeah, that I
I had
said
at least 5 people invite me, and I was like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna go regularize after this or that spring break with the family." And I always try to put my family first, especially these days. But I really wish I would have kind of put myself first as a fan on Friday and gone to that event.
after that, I was like, I am so happy that I chose to go to this but it's funny, like at one point I started tearing up and all I can hear, and I had April Tremble behind me. I had some of Sticks of Fire in front of me. Andrew, Tate, what's his name? Tate.
It's Tate,
Tate. Tate.
like taint without the I.
Okay. He was in front of me. There was a couple more in front of me, and then I had some of my friends next to me, and all I can hear is just sobbing going on around me. And I'm like, I turn around and people are just passing around tissues. And I was like, why are we all pussies? Why are we crying right now?
Hey, listen, I ain't being a pussy. That's
No.
being a fan.
It
That's
was
being connected.
it was just so well put together on showing the different eras. And like I had said afterwards, and April, she has no problem telling you she just became a fan around the 16, 17 year, I think it was. And
Those fans.
and I
Love that.
said to her, and you see how it affects you. I said, and that's what this was put to show every kind of fan that there is, and to make sure they touched on every fan, whether it was the OG fans that came in the later area, or fans that were at the end. And it was really good the way they set it up, and that it was just so little seats sold for it.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I was asking earlier, is because I started watching that thing they put on from the beginning of the season. They just shared on YouTube, and it was going by the decade. So when you said, "Oh, it's the decade by the decade," I was like, "Oh, it just put it up on Friday." So
Right.
I thought maybe it was the event, but then I saw it was like 2 hours long, and it was at Tampa Theater. I'm like, no. Again, the other thing that I was invited to and fucking missed earlier this
Yeah,
season.
me too. I did miss that. I said I wasn't missing this one.
Yeah. And so, but it was by the generation or by the decade as well. So I'm hoping at least there's a little bit of overlap. I don't feel 100% FOMO from this past Friday, but it's very impressive what this franchise has done to acknowledge all the eras, and only 30 years to think that we do have 3 different decades, and it's actually neatly compartmentalized 10-year segments, basically just about 10-year segments of the way this team has grown decade by decade. And to think that we're only 30 years old, and the impact that this franchise has had on this Bay Area. We were talking about it earlier on the radio show with Tyler. Talking about for him, for me, when I first moved here, I know for Shooter moved here, I know I think for all of us to be actually living in a town that had hockey, and that for the most part overall has had a hockey ownership group that has tried to embrace the community, right? Even the Dog and Pony show, they didn't know how to really put a good product on the ice, but they knew how to embrace the fans still. They were still trying to do things to be in the community and still carry on that legacy of it being an every person's sport, the blue collar sport that it is. So it's just, man, it's humbling. It's a little bit humbling to be part of this franchise as a fan in any aspect. And I can only imagine what it's like for a player. Like Hagel's been talking about it on his 1-year anniversary, what it meant to come to a team like this. And it's got to be humbling, right? Like,
yeah,
for me as a fan, it's humbling to live with this fan base, but to be a player that this group goes out and seeks and finds and pays to bring into this organization, it's no wonder that these guys come here and blossom, because it's got to give you some confidence. Maybe never had your entire life, let alone your hockey career. You're probably in your entire life, personally and professionally. That's like, I don't know what else to compare it to, because it's a hockey show, but it's like getting picked first you know, when they're picking teams for dodgeball and you're getting or kickball and you're getting picked first. That's amazing feeling, right? Now you have pressure. Now you feel like you have something to live up to. There's a legacy here that has been created. And to see these new guys coming in and being a little bit in awe of that legacy, but then also understanding how quickly they're accepted and how close knit that locker room is and how close of a family that entire arena is, from the staff to the players. It's just an amazing thing to be a part of.
And to see how much they kept track of each other even after they left, or just still watch the team. Like, oh, you're messing up again, Stash. Like Bish didn't play with a lot of those guys, but they didn't treat him any different. And Boiler the same way. And that's what I was wondering. I was like, the different generations were like there, and it was like, you know, you saw some people that only knew who Bish and Boyle was, and anybody after them, like, they didn't know who Dan Boyle was. They didn't know who Poopa was. Man, let me tell you something though.
I will say, I don't think I could recognize most of those guys. Like, I know that like Zominer, Poopa, I mean Bradley, obviously we know, but like some of those guys in the early first decade, I can't say I would see and recognize. If I see their name, I know exactly who they are and what they did for this team, but I wasn't here for that first decade.
If there was a lightning death pool, though, Poopa would be number one on my list. Just him signing and walking, that man is on the line. I felt so bad for him. Like,
well, he's an old school goalie though. He played goalie before they had biometrics, before they had the understanding of how to take care of your body before and after games. You know what I mean? I can only imagine his knees are absolute fucking jello right now.
Well, even when he was signing, he was shaking real bad, and like he came out of the car, and there were certain players when they got out of their car, people did some chants for, and he was one of them. Everybody did the Poopa chant, but he couldn't hear well, and his wife was like, "Hey, go sign for them." And then he came over and he was shaking real bad and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, this could be the last event Poopa gets to come to," you know. But he wasn't looking well. But you know, next year is the 20th anniversary of the 2004 Stanley Cup.
Don't remind me how old I am, please.
Huh?
So please don't remind me that I'm 20 years away from my 20s.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting what they do for that. But this, and Mike put in about the
I want to see fucking Hobby Bullen back here.
Yeah. STM watch party.
Hobby.
Mike Sneed talked about the watch party that was inside of Emily. That was really cool that they did for us. They had They had some different little food. They had little cake pops and some popcorn, and different little things set up where you could take pictures with and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool that they did that. And we got to see the setup of what the Hall of Fame event was going to look like. So I knew the next night, and I was talking with Debbie. I was like, you definitely want to sit in either 130 or 101 because those are going to be your best views. Anything else, you're going to be looking up at the Jumbotron the whole time. So that's why we got there so early on Friday and was able to do the blue carpet, because
I gotta say, I don't know who did it, or if anybody did Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday this weekend. Damn. I couldn't have done it.
That's why I was like, nope, I can't. And Tuesday, they had the watch party there Tuesday too.
Right, they had the watch party Tuesday, so like they did that. But then we had our event Tuesday. But then I was invited Thursday and Friday by multiple people, and then I had obviously invited with tickets Friday or Saturday and Sunday. Multiple people. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it was.
Luckily for me, it was spring break. Because if it wasn't spring break, my old dumbass would have been like, I got this. I could do 4 days in a row. And by Saturday morning, I would have been dead to the world. I just know. So you know, I'm pretty happy that I got to at least be there for the games Saturday and Sunday. But I do, yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna have a little bit of regret that I wasn't there on Friday night. I don't think Shooter's alive. I think Shooter comes to overtime to die.
Yeah, it was.
He refuses to speak in overtime. I think he's taking
I was
a
just
vow
hoping
of silence.
if I could stay still enough, you guys would think I'm frozen.
Oh, Mike Steed has jokes. Mike Steed has jokes because he ran out of gas, but not in his vehicle, in his
Yeah.
body.
Yeah,
Listen, I might be 40 years old, but I can still fucking party. You want to fucking try a party with the stash?
that's
I
I gave my tickets to April for Sunday because she won the seats for service. And so I had made dinner plans with some friends. We try to get together this time every year for dinner. One of our mutual friends passed away several years ago, and his birthday's coming up. So we try to get together every year around this time for dinner. And they had asked for Friday, and I said I couldn't come Friday. Then at that time, I thought I was going to Saturday's game, so they said Saturday. I said, "You guys go have fun. I'm going to be at the Lightning game." So they moved everything to Sunday. So I was like, "Well, yeah, I don't have tickets to that one. I gave those away." Sunday morning, I get a message saying, "Hey, do you want a glass seat for the game?" And I went.
This guy never pays it forward.
I'm like, I can't. I was like, pick somebody else. I committed to this dinner, and it's me and my friends, and they moved it to Sunday for me. So, you know, then I got a message saying, "Hey, I bought you a ticket to the Ryan Callahan Foundation dinner next on April 2nd." So now I got to get all snazzy for that, and I'll try to slip in some stuff on there.
Why don't you slip in an invitation to on the show? To
You need
Ryan
to start
Callahan?
slipping in some fucking DMs, bro. God, that's exactly what I was gonna say. So you start slipping in some of his DMs, bro.
All the players are planning to be there, along with Callie. So
Are tickets still available for that?
they are. If you go to the Ryan Callahan Foundation, I see Debbie and Joyce. They just bought a VIP table.
I gotta holler out to my girls then.
They bought a VIP table. My friend bought me a VIP ticket. And then Linda Burrows and her husband just bought tickets to go also.
That's a Sunday night.
Yeah.
It's my sister's birthday.
Armature Works.
It's my sister's birthday, but I think they're gonna be in Orlando. But that means that they're gonna want us to fucking babysit. All right. Because I was just thinking that I'm gonna have to. What is it? What's the website?
RyanCallahanFoundation.com, I think it is. Or Callahan Foundation. Let me see.
I wonder what a table costs.
You don't want to know.
I don't mind knowing. A lot of that shit's deductible, bro.
I think it's $4,000 for the table of 4. I think it is,
That's not bad.
or maybe $2,000. Let's see.
I can see that. I can see that more.
It's $250 for the VIP ticket. I know that. It's called Written in the Stars. Sunday, April 2nd, Armature Works. Events.
I was wondering how many people sit at a table because I would be willing to be. I could probably think about maybe, sitting with the stash at the event. Maybe we kind of raffle off some tickets or giveaways. I mean, we do a giveaway to some lucky fans. We want to grow our brand. let's give away $250 tickets to a VIP Lightning event. Let's see how do we grow our brand there, huh?
General admission $150, VIP ticket $275, 4 top VIP table $2,000, 6 top VIP table $2,500, Lounge seating for 6, 4,500.
Okay.
We didn't talk about the I think the funniest comment from last Tuesday when Ian asked Schooley, "What did you win a contest with these guys?"
Oh, that's fucking. Oh my god, you're right.
Me
We
and
were
Beck
talking about
only
that.
knows us from like Shooter in the Stash, and like
We've
I
been working
did
with Ian
introduce
for,
you as our
'cause we didn't
third
think about it.
host
We didn't think
when
about
you
it. It's just
walked in,
natural.
but I guess he didn't catch that, and he's
Right.
like, "What did this guy win a contest with you guys?"
At the very end, at
I
the
was like,
very
"What
end of
a
the night.
shitty contest."
And what was
Yes.
what was my response?
It's like, you mean did I lose
Yes, I
a
did.
contest?
This, if you think this was a winning
This is a
thing,
win. And
yeah,
you know what Ian did? He laughed. He was like,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
a
good call.
contest, Ian. It's the hockey podcast lottery.
It's
I
the
hit
lottery,
jackpot.
bitch. You got it lucky.
it's a sentence.
We single-handedly picked you out of the crowd.
With your
Make you
seat-
even
yeah,
more
kinda
of a
makes sense.
stalker than you already were before.
But it was good because being the one on the show who's lived in this area the longest, and I'm the oldest out of all three of us. You know,
Yeah,
I've known Ian since he's been a Buccaneer, and his whole radio career, and the rise of, I remember when Wild first came out, and that's when Third Leg Greg came out, and Greg Wolf, and you know, and same thing with Cowhead. I remember 93.3 with MJ. I'm a huge Calta fan. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm a huge MJ in the morning back in the day. Q105.
Yeah, the biggest douche in the history of Tampa Bay. MJ.
Yeah. Q105.
Literally.
You know, when they were the only top 40 hits radio station around before 93, what started out as Power Pig.
Before radio got completely destroyed in America by fucking
Listen,
streaming.
I was on Q105 their last day as top 40, requesting Sister Christian by
Fuck
Night
you.
Ranger.
I'm muting you. That's the worst song of all time. Are you fucking kidding me? That's literally the worst song of all time. That's the worst song of all time. You don't like that song, do you?
I used to. Back in the day, I used to.
No, nobody stop. Nobody liked that song.
Back when he was bouncing around between morning radio
back
shows.
back when he had the hair to have a mullet.
Yeah.
When he
Listen,
actually had hairband hair. He
They
can't have
used to-
hairband hair anymore, so I get it. I'm the only
no,
one.
wait,
That can have
when did you guys move here?
I moved here in 02. No, yeah.
Shooter?
I moved here when the Rays were 98.
96.
Rays started.
So they used to have Q105 used to have this huge boom box they used to carry
With a trailer.
around to all the state fairs and everything else, and they did the Q Morning Zoo, and they used to do tiki tiki, and that's when you had to call in and get to win the contest. And so you know, it's just seeing these radio personalities now, the people who I grew up with, is almost like lightning, you know.
That's why I love Greg the most, I think, is because I'm with you, man. Like when I first came here, Third Leg Greg was my favorite Tampa Bay radio guy. It was him and then the Big Rig. Those are my two favorite radio guys. Yep.
I ran into him several times at the Lightning games.
Third Leg and Big Rig. And I mean, I like Fisher and Boyd, but that's because it was the morning show and I fucking cleaned pools when I first moved here. And that means I was at fucking work at 5 a.m. And by the time they came on, I was just getting into my groove and I loved listening to them in between house to house. But at the same time, I don't want to talk about those guys these days, right?
But
just, I know how we feel both about Drew and Seth on this show, right? We both know how we feel about both those guys now, right?
But we had like that Mason Dixon, you know, was
Mason.
huge.
I loved him on the Country Station. I will say that.
And he originally started on Q105, and then he went away, and then Mix 96 came in, and all of a sudden, the billboards all around town was his back. And then they were like, Mason Dixon's back, and it would be the picture of his back.
Mm-hmm.
And then
the original Steen Stamkos billboards.
Yeah, I mean, it's just and so seeing these guys and meeting these guys, and Greg Wolf's talked about a couple things, and I said to him, I really wish he would do a block party, because the way he got into radio was he was actually on a delivery with his brother. His brother had to deliver at the radio station with the Hooter Girls that used to be on 1010.
Yeah.
And he went there with her, with his brother, and started talking it up with them, and ended up being a regular on the radio, and ended up getting a job there.
If anyone's ever met Greg Wolf, that story makes a lot of fucking sense, because that dude is as charismatic as fuck. Like, that dude is just cool as a cucumber, charismatic as a fucking crown box, and fucking as electric as a light socket. That dude just has it all. And I like anything that guy touches is fucking great.
And then when the Wild first started, they wouldn't say where they were. They said they were out on what's that island? I just tweeted them the other day.
Island.
What is it?
Which island?
No, the one up to Sarasota.
Longboat Key.
No,
Pine Island. Making
no,
it up.
see.
I'm making it all up now.
They would say they were out there. That's where they were broadcasting from.
Apollo Beach.
Holmes Beach.
Holmes Beach.
They
Oh,
would
yeah,
say-
yeah. Live from Holmes Beach. Yes, I remember that now.
They were say they
remember
were at Holmes Beach, and so the other day he tweeted something, and I was like, live. Okay, he tweeted something about 98.7. I was like, yeah, live from Holmes Beach.
I bet.
But really, they were right over here in the Kruger Center in St. Pete. So, but it's nostalgic for me. And same thing with Ian, and me and Ian got talking into some of the radio personalities and stuff like that, and it was cool to hear all that.
Well, I would say, like, we've been kind of working with Ian for 6 years now, something like that, 5, 6. Well, definitely at least 6 years, because the first time we did anything with Ian, I had Hunter down there. I still had my Challenger, and I had Hunter down there, and I pulled up in my orange loud ass Challenger, and I hop out, and then I pull a stroller out of the trunk and a baby out of the back seat, and I'm like, I'm here to help shoot the fucking show about a food truck that Ian is trying to start. And Ian's like, who the fuck is this guy? And Shitter's like, oh, that's the stash. And he looks at me fucking sideways, left, right, diagonally. He's like, okay, whatever. And then ever since then, it's just been this like
evolution. And that's when him and Greg Wolf were partners, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just like an evolution of our kind of like experiences with each other. And since then, we went out to like comedy club and fucking casino, and like we had our epic night when Revolution played down in Ybor on a free concert with Rock Brother. Like, we've done a few things, and so now that we've kind of gone down to the Kava house, we both are in different eras of our life now, right? Like, my son is now like my son, not just a baby. He is on the other side of his life, and he's, things have changed dramatically for him. I'm not here to talk about his business or his personal life or anything, but I will say that things are completely different for him. And he's got a lot different mindset. He's always got 10 million irons in the fire, just like me, which is something that him and I definitely relate on. It's whatever, like, you can, like, for guys like us, you can never have too many ideas, because it's just, we got to wait for one of them to hit. That's just the way we are, right? We're not single track mind guys at all. And then for us to be able to sit down, and a lot of people don't know the guy's a Toronto native. He loves hockey as much as he loves football. He's a football player, but he knows and loves hockey as well as anybody out there. So, and I don't know how many people really have listened to him and listened to me, but I'm not gonna lie, a lot of my delivery and a lot of the things I say and stuff like that innately mimic him, just because I listen to him so much. Like, and I liked a lot of Jim Rome. I listened to Jim Rome religiously for like 3 years straight, almost 4 years.
I used to.
And I love Romy. I loved Romy, but I'm something about Ian Beckles just grabbed me. The way he speaks, the way he delivers. He's very articulate. Most people don't understand or realize how articulate he is, and how well he's almost like a Ross from Friends of how well he enunciates. And I think, I've never talked to that, but I could imagine where that comes from him having to feel like he has to like be better and not, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was really cool on Tuesday, just being able to sit there and chill in his space where he's really comfortable for a couple hours after we had already stopped by 2 or 3 times in the last month just to talk to him and make everybody feel more comfortable. And it was really cool because it was the first time like I've got to hang out with him in like a personal level. Every other time I've hung out with Ian, it's we've had an agenda or we've done something. We had a lunch and we met with him. Like, let's do some stuff, and it's never really kind of panned out. But this is finally, I think, on track with everything that we all have envisioned for each other. And it was a really good time, and it was really cool just to see him with his guard down and like not stressed out about family shit, about anything else, and just being like, hey. I'm just
listen. When you
cool.
can sit on a stool at a bar and just everybody comes to you, that's when you know you've
that's
made
my
it.
fucking dream, bro. That's my dream, bro. Why the fuck do I want? That's why I'm trying to hang out with Ian Beckles because I want to be that motherfucker. I'm serious, dude.
That's when you know you've made it.
I
Because
don't idolize anybody, but that's my goal. My goal is to have the stash. Not the hidden stash or the secret stash, because that's a little bit too much of a ripoff of my favorite inspiration, as Rob and I have talked about a lot. Kevin Smith. We don't want the secret stash, but let's go the stash. The stash spot really is what I'm thinking about. The stash spot, and that's where you just come to chill. No matter what's going on, you're safe. You're amongst friends, and it's gonna be a good time. That's my dream, and I'll be in the back room talking about all my dumbass stories that nobody really gives a shit about, but somehow I've got some kind of, local lore involved with my backstory, and people just want to know where I came from. And I could just be like, yeah, come buy some shit in the front of the store and then come hang out with me in the back. We'll smoke a lot of weed. Fucking A. That's a goddamn dream come true right there. Pardon my taking the Lord's name in vain. Apologize for that.
Sorry, I'm trying to vote
For
on
a
that.
few GDs.
I'm trying to vote on this.
No, that's right. Shooters editing. Schoolie's
No,
Facebook
I was voting
and,
on I was
I'm-
voting on We the Thunder's
Sweater.
jerseys.
Huh.
Uh,
No. I don't want to sully the results, so I haven't voted yet.
the
share it,
original
but I
black
don't
jersey is currently winning against the
The
Stadium
original
series.
Storm jersey.
Stadium Series jersey.
Yeah,
We
that's
jinxed
crazy.
it.
We did. Currently,
40,
we
yeah,
have a week, right?
47 votes in for that one. The reverse retro is smoking the 97 Storm jersey with 66 votes in.
Yeah. And by the way, anytime anyone can get their hand on a last year's reverse retro for sale that's in the size 42 to 46, please let me know.
Someone just
2 years ago.
posted on Twitter they just got one off of eBay.
Really?
Yeah.
God damn
He
it.
said she's been watching for months and she just got it off of eBay.
Damn it. Damn it.
Maybe if it wins this contest, it'll have a revival.
Shut up. You're just gonna try to get my hopes up. I know. Get my hopes up just to break me down. Oh man.
It's just
So fun story. Mike Sneed was in the Coast Guard.
yeah, I know.
I'm going to tell everything about Mike Sneed tonight because him and I became besties on the weekend.
Me and him talked about it because my nephew's also in the Coast Guard. So I talked to him about it the one time. My nephew's currently stationed in
He just stopped watching. He's like, wow.
in Pensacola. My nephew's stationed in Pensacola. So
Yeah. It's funny how like we have similar stories and parallel stories, and yet we were in completely different branches. And I told him you're smart because I joined the Navy and he joined the Coast Guard. I'm dumb. He's smart.
listen,
every decision since then has been reversed. But that at that point he made the better ever since then.
I feel bad for the Coast Guard because like the other militaries called them the puddle jumpers because I have a good friend named Mason who's currently stationed in New Orleans on the helicopter. And, he's heard it all that they're the shitty one. He's like, but, we're the first ones to do a search and rescue. We're the first ones for anything in America's water.
Nobody does more services for actually American waters than the Coast Guard, period.
Yep.
The Navy gives 0 fucks about domestic waters. 0 fucks. We couldn't care less about American waters. The Navy dominates the rest of the globe. And that's why we let our little brothers, the puddle pirates, or as you called them, the puddle jumpers, take care of it. But I will tell you right now, I regret it. I love being not totally, because again, I don't have a lot of regrets in my life. The older I get, but I will say, if I could go back in time, I would still join the military 100%, but it would have been the Coast Guard rather than Navy. I did the Navy because that's my thing and I loved it. It's just the Navy is bigger and more full of bullshit. The Coast Guard is much more transparent and they're much more like, hey, they don't bullshit of letting you know what you got to do when you join. They're not trying to force you to join a certain rate or anything else like that. They know where they are. The Marines, the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, they have a quota. They have to get certain people into certain jobs, blah, blah, blah. The Coast Guard is just happy that you got past the first 4 fucking offices and made it to the Coast Guard. Because let me tell you, all those recruiters' offices are always in the same building. And it's fucking Navy, Air Force, Army, Marines, and then maybe the Coast Guard has a fucking janitor's closet in the back, whenever you get past them. Okay? So, like in New Mexico, we didn't even have a Coast Guard recruiter. We didn't. We only had the 4 main branches. There wasn't even, I didn't even know the Coast Guard existed when I lived in New Mexico, where I joined the Navy. So, luckily, my sister moved out here and joined the Coast Guard from here because then it was obvious how cool the Coast Guard was. But
yeah, my nephew for some reason picked the Coast Guard right off the bat. That's always what he said he wanted to be, was Coast Guard. And
my best friends, man. Mike, my KJ, my OG KJ that made me just truly love it. My buddy Clem, KJ Clem, Coasty, 12, I think he did 12 years, something like that. Great guy. Yeah, great people, man. Great people. Great guard. Great service to this country. Highly underrated. Support your USCG. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, Mike Snead. What an animal. What an animal. And hey, dude. Hey, wait. You know Clem? Wait a second. Mike. Okay. We're going full. I'm going to have to, dude, you need to call in. You should actually, you know what? We just need to start giving Mike Snead the link to jump on Overtime with us.
No,
he's
we don't.
basically the only guy that always hangs out with us. No, I know, because school is like, oh, I'd never get to talk. It'd just be the two of you. No, but yeah, Clem Roy.
He doesn't shut up.
As in Ryan Clemens. Yes, as in Ryan Clems. As in Fro. As in KJ Clem. As in. Yes.
But I bet you anybody with the last name Clemens was called Clem.
Probably. No,
he says Tommy.
Not
maybe,
Tommy.
Maybe he's talking to me.
There you go.
Maybe he's saying me.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I just noticed, Shooter, you had no Bolt stuff on tonight. How dare you not have any Bolt stuff on, Shooter?
Yeah.
Waffle fries.
What are you supporting the new Matt Damon Ben Affleck flick? Excuse me. Supporting? Oh, are you going to show your pants?
What is this?
Oh, I have those.
Your dick?
No.
The cameraman doesn't like when I show crotch shots.
Well, neither do we.
That wasn't a
good
crotch.
job, RoboClem.
He said I was
stationed
with him
for that.
You were stationed with Ryan Clemens, who currently resides in the Tampa Bay area and is a renowned karaoke jockey. One of my all-time best friends. The person that nicknamed me Phil Ratio, because the ratio of fucking puns that I land is 1 in 10.
He said yes.
Bro. All right. The three of us have to get together now. It has been written. It has been told.
Great.
The three of us must go fuck some shit up.
That's something I have to stop.
We might have to document that shit. That might have to be an official documentary of me and fucking Clem Roy and motherfucking Michael Snead on the town.
What? You got an angry cat.
It's my mom. It's my mom's cat.
His face is stuck on. Yeah, I tried to wear this USF cap for a minute, but it was just way too hot.
You haven't been to an Ice Bulls game? They're pretty fun.
No, I'll go
but
next season.
When he said they were sold out this year, like when I went last year, they weren't. So I'm glad to see that they have a building fan base.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun to go. I like going to that rink.
I think like 6 of them showed up to walk with Sonia, last year for the MS Walk. They came and supported her for the MS Walk, and they were in their jerseys.
Shoot, I'll buy a jersey too while I'm there.
The government shut down Stash because he was talking about the military. They said, "Doop." But yeah, I'm excited to have Sonya look so good. And she was so nervous. She didn't even want to walk the blue carpet the other day. I was like, get your ass on that blue carpet. She's like walking on the side of it. And I was like, get on the blue carpet. And she's like, no. And finally they told her, walk the blue carpet.
That's cool. Yeah. So she'll be on next week. We'll see if I can make it on. Got travel is going to be an issue next couple weeks.
Yeah. Where are you going to be?
Next week, I'm only going to be in Orlando, but between doing the show a little bit earlier and stuff going on there, I just don't know when I'll be free to jump on. So, but it's more likely next week than the following week. This following week, I'm in Chicago.
Do we have a guest that week?
No, I don't think so. I think well, I mean, you guys can find a guest if you want on the 3rd. I think Greg's the 10th, and then that's it. I mean, we got 3 episodes left, and we're in the playoffs.
Yeah, I was hoping Pittsburgh's loss today would drop our magic number, but it didn't. Right now,
15 still?
13. We need Florida to lose. They won tonight.
They're trying to sneak in, huh?
Yeah, they control their own destiny. If they can win out, then they'll get into the playoffs and keep Buffalo and the Senators out. They could theoretically take over the Lightning for 3rd place, but right now they can only max out at 103. The Lightning can max out at 113.
Do we play them head-to-head anymore? No, I think that series is over.
Yeah, that series is over.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if he's coming back, and I need to sleep. I'm tired.
We need to take these Islander games. Those
Boston games should be fun next weekend.
Yeah.
This weekend.
Yeah, the Islanders and the Range. Washington, we really need to capitalize on. They're dealing with a lot of injuries, plus the trades that they did. And that last game against Detroit's going to be so
easy.
Yeah. It never has been against them so far. So,
yeah, we'll see. I mean, you got to start with beating Montreal. Can't drop that game.
No,
so bad right now.
And Ottawa, they've been on a lose. They won tonight.
Well, Ottawa was hot a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they were the hottest team. And then they dropped quite a few, and then they beat the Penguins. Penguins had 49 shots on goal tonight and only scored 1. Senators had 21 shots on goal and got 2. That game last night, who was it? The Rangers? The Rangers, their first 6 shots they scored on. They ended up 7-0, but their first 6 shots, they all went in. Night before they did 6-0 against the Penguins. They've had 2 shutout games, 13 goals, and haven't given up a goal yet in 2 games. They don't play again. Why did they have such a big? They don't play again until Carolina.
All these teams are getting these little mini breaks, and seems like the Lightning play every single night.
They play tomorrow. against Carolina. They have Carolina Tuesday and Thursday. A home and home series. First one's at MSG, then it's at PNC. I'm excited. My niece just put her house up for sale, and they're in closing in Kentucky, and she's moving to North Carolina. And everywhere she's looking in North Carolina is near their arena. I said, good, I got a place to stay. Oh, look, there he is.
Yeah, fucking Spectrum's being a dick right now. My router, I had to use my hotspot finally. And then also my USB rechargeable mouse died on me right now. So yeah, I love technical difficulties all at the same time.
No, Mike, I don't see us overtaking. I don't see. Let's see.
You're about to do what I was going to do. Open up the schedule.
Well, Toronto can max on at 119. We can max on at 113. 112. We can max on at 112. They can max on at 119. So technically, they got 7 points before we can overtake them. So I doubt we overtake them.
I mean, their goaltending's terrible, and all it takes is for them to get on a bit of a slide here at the end of the season. You know?
Yeah,
but you're not. I mean, I don't disagree with you.
We have a pretty tough schedule coming up too.
But before that 5-game slide, I would have said yes. After that 5-game slide, I think they just put a little bit too much between us, honestly. I mean, there's only a 3-point difference right now. But like you said, it's the potential final points available.
I mean, they
have 2 games in hand on us still.
But they also have a tough schedule. They have Islanders, Florida, Carolina, Nashville, Florida, Ottawa, Detroit, Columbus, Boston, Montreal, Florida, Tampa, Rangers.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of teams in there that are hiding or working their ass off to make the playoffs or on the bubble. And Florida's playing really good right now, you know. So
yeah, well, we were just talking about it. Florida actually controls their destiny. If they win out, they make it the 8th team. So,
oh shit! Sorry, hey Mike. Sorry that my fucking technical difficulties hit in the middle of that, but I'm definitely gonna hit up Clem tomorrow. We got to get a little fucking hangout time, because like I said, dude, that's one of my dudes, and I actually haven't seen him in a while. So I would love that, man.
But in order for order for that Lightning to give up the 3rd place. They
Toronto.
To give up the 3rd, and they would have to lose.
Oh, okay.
Panthers is the only one that can really catch them, and they can max on a 103. So as long as the Lightning stay above 103, they'll they'll secure.
Although, I mean, what? So if they end up in a wild card, then they would end up playing either Boston or Carolina instead of Tampa, right?
You mean instead of Toronto? Yes.
The Lightning or instead of Toronto? Yeah.
Yes.
Is anyone else okay with that? Because I am.
I would rather them play Toronto first, but if they end up
I wouldn't. I don't want to be the team that Toronto finally beats in the first round.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't. And this isn't the season to fuck around with them. It really isn't. I believe that this team can beat Boston or Carolina in a 7-game series. I know Boston's kind of had our number this year. I get it. I know they're great, but we were one of the only teams to beat them in regulation this season. Well, it's not Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh owns the fuck out of us this year. Anyone else could shut them out. We can't. But I would be fine playing Carolina or Boston over Toronto. I think Toronto has something to prove, A, in the playoffs, and B, against us specifically. You know what I mean? So I would prefer to have either home ice or a bit of a undisclosed, non-intentional mini tank just to maybe play a different team in the first round this year.
That's not going to happen.
It
No.
might be the bourbon talking. And they're not going to do it intentionally, and it's definitely the bourbon talking.
That's
But
like
I'm just-
Stamkos deciding I'm going to skip a couple games.
Well, that's
so I
why.
can get to
That's why he
1,000 at
would.
home.
That's why
What
he would
happened?
then. That's why he would. Maybe they come together, which again, I don't think this happens, which maybe I think it should happen more if they and see, and Mike makes a very good point here. There's no Svechnikov in Carolina anymore. I would have no problem. But then we'd have to fall to the wild card too to make that happen.
Mhm.
And you know what I would rather not do? Hear all the dumbass, uneducated, whiny ass fucking fans talking about how terrible it would be for us to be a wild card too.
Well, yeah, but to fall into a wild card, we would have to lose at least
The rest of the season.
games. At
The
least
rest
6
of the
games.
season.
Yeah.
Basically, almost every. We'd have to go 500 or less the rest of the season, which
Well, what record do you think they're going to have this week? The 3 games.
yeah.
Shooter, I thought we all got a point on that first one, on that first game.
No, it's most was that points or goals?
It was goals, and we all
all
tied except for you, I think.
No, somebody had more goals than who you guys put.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I picked Killer. He only had 1 goal.
But I thought they all had 1 goal on Tuesday. No.
Somebody had 2 goals on Tuesday. Point didn't Point have 2 goals?
No, if anyone did, it was Hagel.
Sorelli,
Hagel
Cologne,
had 3 points. I
Kucherov,
don't think anyone had multiple goals. I
and
think
Hagel.
Yeah.
Nobody did. No.
Yeah. Didn't I pick? So then I must not have picked Killer for goals then.
I had you when I re-listened to it.
I thought I picked Killer.
You did, and I picked Hagel.
So tie goes to nobody?
Stash the
no-
Thunder and myself got a point. It was most goals.
It's
Stash
most
the Killer.
goals, not 1 goal.
The most goals. Stash had Killer. Thunder said
So tie goes to nobody is what Shooter is telling us. He makes up the rules to Shooter's games.
Shooter said point. He got
No
nothing.
tributes. No tributes. We don't acknowledge tributes. And we the Thunder. What do we call this? Season challenge? Do we have an official name for this yet? I know it's our first season doing this. Do we have like a? We need to work on that. We need to workshop that a little bit. It's not weak, but it's not strong.
I mean, it has the name of our show in it, so
Yeah, but people are already watching.
that's what I like most about it.
People are already watching this. Oh man,
What is this
I don't
guy
even know.
write?
I'm
This
gonna
guy
type it.
wrote, let me remind you guys of something before you get all
Oh
emotional.
yeah. And then he turned off comments after like 12 people commented. Go ahead, please. I saw this.
We drafted this guy, and our team and fan base made him into what he is today. And he chose more money over the Tampa Bay Lightning, even though he was already a millionaire. Remember when Steven Stamkos turned down $11 million a year from Buffalo to play here for $8 million? That's somebody who cares about us and the Lightning. Enjoy your money, Andre. Oh,
Yeah.
so did he turn? Oh, yeah, he did turn off comments, huh?
Oh, quickly, within 40 minutes of making that comment, actually less than, I think it was, honestly, I think when I saw it, the timestamp was 33 minutes and commenting had already been turned off.
This is the screenshot that I'm looking at. Says
They
38
trashed
minutes.
Yeah. So, something like, so I'm sorry, 33, 38. They're both like 3 is half of an 8, right?
Yeah.
So-
Well, I wasn't sure if this is the same screenshot you
No,
saw.
it's
You
the
actually saw
same.
the post.
He only posted in the one group, I think. But yeah, that guy's a fucking
Must have been
idiot.
Thunderbolts.
No.
Oh, you know what?
it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It was
Would have been
the
banned from.
no.
Tampa Bay
no.
Lightning
Tampa Bay Lightning fan.
fans. Tampa Bay
Tampa Bay
Lightning
Lightning
fans.
Listen, I'm like Thomas. I don't trash other groups because I think we're all special in our own way, like Dr. Seuss. But fuck that group. That's the dumbest group of hockey fans in Tampa Bay. You know what? You brought it up, Thomas Scully. Let me come here. Let me go and grab a screenshot from a literal Karen from that group.
So everybody started posting and
Yeah.
tagging him in it because they were tearing him apart. Here's the thing and this is the problem that I didn't want. So it has 31,000 members. So more members than any other group. That's because anybody can join that. And that's where, because someone from another group messaged me the other day and said, I've been getting a lot of spam and a lot of bots in my group. How do you not have that in your group? And I was like, we made it private. And so he made his private too, so that you have to be invited or you have to actually search it. It doesn't just show up. And because, we go through everybody's profile to make sure they have something Tampa Bay Lightning on their page.
Anyway, I can't find this shit. Oh, here it is. I would share this, but I don't want to. But this is from Tampa Bay Lightning fans, the same group. This is after last night's game. And somebody made a post. I don't
Was it
get
from
how
Linda?
No,
Oh, no.
It's it's a social pariah. This lady is the reason that a certain female name is infamous right now in social media. I'm pretty sure you know what name I'm talking about. It starts with a K and ends with a Aaron. Her name's fucking Karen. Okay. Now, first and foremost, somebody, Florida State guy, who once again doesn't have his own face as his fucking profile pic and doesn't have a name. So, that guy's definitely not going to, post shit that he isn't going to stand behind. There's no way he's just some fucking internet troll that has no care to stand behind the things that he posts. He just has to say inflammatory shit. I don't get how scoring a goal to go up 2-0 somehow causes a team to lose all their momentum. I don't get how you can watch hockey for any amount of time and not know that 2 goals is the most dangerous lead in the history of hockey, period.
We talked about that with Ian.
My youngest son, I have one son, but my young son knows that 2 goals is the most dangerous lead in hockey. Everyone knows that. So then this wonderful Karen comes on and her take is because Tampa Bay is slacking. Ellipsis. I rest my case and I don't care who is on board or not. Cussing emoji. Pay this kind of dollars for tickets to be proud on home ice only to walk out hanging heads low. I see a lot of Tampa, all caps, fans doing it. What? How entitled do you have to be to think because you bought tickets to a home game, the Lightning have to win every time you're in the seats? You think that because you are in the arena, you deserve a victory more than whenever they're not there or you're not in the seats? Once again, this is one of the cheapest tickets in the NHL still. After 3 consecutive Stanley Cup final appearances, we still have some of the cheapest tickets in the NHL. And if you know where to go, you can find them without fees. If you know as a fan who you could talk to, you can usually find other STMs that are willing to transfer your ticket, no extra fees, for face value. If you're not a literal Karen trying to be a entitled blah, 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 blah. And then she comes back and tells me after I also comment on this, I don't know why I still follow that group because it is literally the biggest group of Clueless fans in all of Tampa Bay. And she says, oh, maybe you're the one that's clueless because I've been watching this team for 20 years. So you've been watching this team for 20 years and they've never lost every time you've gone there? Is that what you're telling me? You're ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I can't even. I'm sorry.
Well, my favorite on that group is, why do we have the lyrics to the Star Spangled Banner but not "O Canada" during the national anthem?
That happened this weekend as well. That was
Come
after
on.
Saturday's game.
Come on, we're better neighbors than that. I've given my fan feedback about it. Let's start a movement.
A bowel movement? Because that's the shittiest take I've heard all week.
And then someone's comment was, as long as nobody kneels for either. Oh my gosh. These people kill me.
Yeah. And actually I answer my own question or my own query of why I still follow that group, because I needed someone to laugh at every once in a while. I do. I just needed somebody to sit back and be like, God damn it. And I'm going to tell you right now, that lady that went down to try and get a picture with fucking with Marty, I bet she's a part of Tampa Bay of Tampa Bay Lightning fans. But that's the group she's a part of.
And really?
all 32,000 members. She has to be. I'm betting. I don't know. That's conjecture. I'm just guessing that she's part of that's the one. She's not, that's it. And I'm sure everyone's like, oh, I'm waiting to see the post where look at Marty St. Louis, what a piece of shit. That's why we got rid of him anyways. He wouldn't take a little picture with the fan real quick in the middle of the game. I'm honestly shocked. I haven't seen those.
There was one on my Twitter. Bless you, Shooter. There was one. I bet you if it was a New York Rangers fan, he would have done it. Guess what?
You fucking moron.
Guess what? I don't think Marty wants anything to do with his Ranger years. Like there was nothing even.
How many times have we talked about it on the show? How many times? Marty St. Louis was stuck between a rock and a hard place and had to choose his family. I don't know everything about him. I've made a shit ton of mistakes in my life. I would hope that people judge me by my successes and not my failures, truly, because I don't give up. Have I failed? Have I made mistakes? Yes. But have I always endeavored to be a better person after the fact and learn from those mistakes and try and grow? Yes. And as far as I have seen from the outside looking in, Marty St. Louis has done the same as a human being, as a father, as a hockey player, as an ambassador to the game, as a husband, as everything he had to do. He gave this team every ounce of his blood, sweat, and tears for over a decade. And because there was a bit of a falling out between him and his wife and between him and the current GM and the then GM, this fan base just wants to lambaste him every time they get a chance.
It was his wife at the thing this weekekend?
Yeah, she was.
There you go.
She was there.
You go, dude.
My favorite Marty highlight was after they won the Stanley Cup. And he got mad at his wife who was trying to wipe the blood off his face. And he's like, no.
No, I'm a warrior. Blood. That's right. Warrior.
They talked about Espo said the worst owner. Who do you think the worst owner?
Oh, it's the fucking lemon berry.
Nope.
No, it's the Japanese.
No. Yeah, it's the Japanese owners, right?
Nope.
No, who?
He never saw them. It was the guy that owned it afterwards, before Davidson. What was his name? Shit. William. What was his name?
I think that was before I got here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What, 97? 98? Something like that
the one that ended up firing him.
Yeah. So it's like 90. I think it was 90. No. Because he was talking about, he's like, I knew it was 98.
Art Williams.
It was 98. Whenever they drafted Hedman. Yep. Yeah.
Stammer. Stammer and said he was the Michael Jordan.
LeCavier.
Yeah. That's what it was. LeCavier. And said he was the Michael Jordan of hockey. And put all this pressure on Vinny LeCavier, and he came out publicly and said that Tony and Phil would keep their jobs, and 2 days later fired them.
Yeah, and funny, I mentioned that Lightning Lore show that they're doing on Tampa Bay Lightning.com, and he talks about that. He was like, "Oh, I knew I was getting fired." And the first episode's like 18 minutes long. And he's like, I knew. It's like he spoke out. God, I need to go back and watch it again. But he spoke out about something that happened during that period, and he was like, "Oh, I know I'm going to get fired." And 2 days later, he got fired. Like he says, like I knew I was. And the funny thing is, Espo knew when he was with the Rangers that he was getting fired.
Yep.
As the GM, he knew. He's like, "Well, I spoke out there too," and that's what he said during his interview. He's like, "I always try to be honest, and I always try to speak with," and he didn't use the word, but the word I like to use is candor. He speaks with candor, which is the same thing I do. And it's not always nice. It's not always soft and warm and fuzzy, but it is always true. And I think that people that are honest and shoot from the hip, or not shoot from the hip, but like the people that are straight shooters, is what I mean, are the people that in the long run get the more respect. And the people that in the long run, people are like, okay, I would much rather interact with you because I know it's no bullshit. There's no filter. I know exactly what I'm getting with when I deal with you. And that's what I've always, related to myself is like, that gets me in trouble a lot. My candor gets me in trouble, but also my passion. So I feel, hey,
He
two
talked
Phils.
about when
Two Phils from the same cloth. There's no coincidence the fact that me and Espo had the same first name. All right.
he talked about when he yells shoot that he's like they've yelled at me all these years. I'm yelling at you.
I'm yelling at them. Yeah. Right. And that's what I love about Phil is because like sometimes you get frustrated, but then you realize, oh shit, he was the first person in the NHL to score 100 points in a season.
Mm-hmm.
What? Like that's the guy that founded our franchise. Excuse me. Like that's insane. The first player to ever score 100 points in an NHL season.
He had the most shots in a season too, and I think 1,000 shots in a season.
Yeah,
and it will never get broken.
Not even close.
He said they said last year. He said the last year the highest was 300 and something or something like that. And that when they were doing the thing about him, and they said, so that's when he said, so when he says shoot, you guys better listen because
I've shot the puck more than anybody in the fucking history of this league.
That's what he did.
The other cool thing is, and I don't want to give it all away because you go watch it, support the Lightning, but he does talk about whenever he was sitting there with his brother Tony, rest in peace, another great, saying one day I'm going to be a franchise owner, and there it was. One day he did it, and I'm glad that Tony was here to see it. Hey, Mike, thanks for hanging out. You're a fucking OG, bro. You're OG. I love having a good time with you this weekend. I'm definitely going to reach out to Clem first thing in the morning and be like, yo, guess who the fuck we both know? And we'll figure it out. We'll see you next time, man. That being said, this is already an hour and a half overtime.
Yeah.
What else do you guys got? Because we should probably be out of here. I can't believe my voice is still working. The whiskey made it stronger.
I got nothing. After Hagel's performance on Saturday, I had to follow it up with my own hat trick on Sunday.
Oh, big things from a shooter.
No big deal. No big deal.
When are you gonna start growing that playoff flow, bro? You're looking really high and tight right now. It's really off-putting.
You just got a haircut, I think.
Yeah, you're not usually like well coiffed these days.
No, I apologize.
I have to get all pretty for the April 2nd event for Callahan.
But I mean, I'm not saying it looks bad. I was saying it's a little surprising. Is all. It's all.
I'm a shocker.
People like me.
You never know what you're gonna get on Monday night.
I'm a box of chocolates. Oh man. All right. Well, boys, I guess I should go talk to my wife since she's home and off tomorrow. We were at the game tonight, last night together. Actually, one last shout out. They're not listening or watching anymore, but it was cool. It's the first time ever that all three of us in the family got to a game last night, and it was really cool and very special. And Hunter is now like an unofficial mascot of 307. So I dig it. It's awesome. Everyone digs that guy. So it was a good time.
What do you think of the
good
game?
time this weekend. He is now he wanted to stop by the team store on the way out. He bought a hat, picked out a hat, Florida State hat colors, but he likes red. So whatever. It's got the Lightning logo, and it's cute as shit on him. It's the very first like real hat, and he like wore it the whole way home. And he wanted to get a puck, and he picked out a shirt. And then on the way out, he was like, you know what? I'm actually kind of a hockey fan now. Which for my son is fucking big deal because he is unaffected by anything other than video games. So for him, and he also lives in a house with two crazy hockey parents that he's just like, will you guys please shut up? I'm trying to do my thing. Stop. And we're like, but he was like chanting without us like making him do it. Like he's been to a couple games and he was kind of like over it. But on Sunday, he was definitely really into it. So it was really cool to be there with my whole family for the first time. To have both my wife and my son together doing my favorite thing. It's fun.
Good. I say the same
He-
thing still
did take
after
a nap,
games.
No, he did take a nap, but it's okay. He had a long spring break. It was the last night. Well, today was like our rest and recovery relaxation because we're in Pasco, so we had one extra day. But he had a very, very long and eventful spring break, and I don't think he went to bed before midnight all week long. So he was a little worn out last night.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too. I came home today and took it and passed out. Like I woke up going, "Oh my god, did I miss the show? What's going
I didn't
on?"
do fuck all today, and then it took me until like 5 o'clock to realize it was Monday. And I'm like, oh, that's right, I forgot it's Monday.
Well, when I got on the show and you guys weren't there, I was like, "Is it Monday?"
No, I forgot that I had taken my mic down to take to Ian's on Tuesday. I
That's
had
the
put
same
it back
thing Shooter
together.
said.
Yes, I had assembled my shit.
That's what Shooter was saying when you came on and you were like this.
Yeah.
Because that's why Shooter was late coming on because he had all of his stuff still packed up.
I sat down at my regular time and I sit down here. I'm like, oh yeah, that's gonna be 5 minutes. Whoops.
He said you would think I would do that instead of watching. What were you watching?
I was watching I watched 3 episodes of The Office with my son. I knew that I'm in here all day, so I knew that I had to put it together and just totally forgot.
I didn't even look at it all day. Honestly, it's been sitting here next to me, literally arm's reach away from me. The bag with the lights, and I put cords and mics all in it. And yeah, I was sitting here watching TampaBayLightning.com, obviously, all day. I was watching all those videos, and also YouTube videos because I'm doing crown molding, lighted crown molding in my son's room. So I'm trying to get some advice on how to do that the right way. But I've done crown molding my whole life. I've never done LED crown molding, and it's a slightly different process. But yeah, so yeah, I'm sitting here in my office most of the day today, and then Nikki works on Mondays and closes, and so I had to take care of bed, and especially on. Like I said, he hadn't gone to bed before midnight all week. He had like 3 days where the cousins were here straight, which means they don't usually go to bed till like 1 or 2 a.m. Whatever, I let them do it. It's fine. But yeah, I had to be like, dude, go to bed. That's why I had to get up at the beginning of the earlier show and be like, all right, lights out. All right, be asleep before your mom gets here, or else I'm in big trouble. If you're not asleep by 9:30, I'm fucked. So go to sleep.
Well, can make up for it next week and put him to sleep at 6.
Yeah, right. No, he's gonna have a late bedtime next week. Shit, but that's okay. Be worth it. Anyways, good times. Good times.
All right.
Week. Good times.
Till next week.
Yeah.
Hopefully you make it.
Nah, we'll see.
Maybe we'll see. After show would be
We'll be here for overtime. But yeah. I can't wait for Sonya next week. Good week of hockey. I'm looking for a good week of hockey this year or this week too.
Yeah.
And I mean 2-1. Yeah. I do think there's a chance that they could go 3-0. But I think that every week. Right, don't I?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be 2-1.
Yeah,
like last
realistically.
I called it last week. I said 2-1 last week. But I thought they would lose that first New Jersey game, not the last New Jersey game.
Yeah, they owned it.
All right. Well, I'll
20
see you
shots
guys
in the second
next
period
week.
against New Jersey yesterday. That was ridiculous.
Yep.
That was atrocious. And that's one thing we didn't talk about enough on the show. But if the Lightning want to go deep in the playoffs, they got to clean up their second period. That's all there is to it. Their second period's been atrocious all season.
The second period was awesome in the Devils game on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, but not yesterday.
Scored all the goals. All right. I'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Adios.
This is fun.